Welcome to Morningstar. I am Francesco Lavecchia, and with me is Tancrede Fulop. He's Senior Equity Analyst at Morningstar. Good morning, Tancrede, and thanks for joining me today. So, Tancrede, as we know, with the enormous increase in energy bills, there is a huge demand in Europe for introducing an energy price cap. However, Europe is thinking about a more articulated plan. Could you please talk about the proposals which are on the table of the European Commission?
Sure. Hi, Francesco. There are 5 proposals. The first one is smart savings with potential mandatory targets for reducing electricity use at peak hours. The second proposal is a power price cap on non-gas power producers because current very high power prices are driven by high gas prices, and non-gas power producers like hydro plants, nuclear, wind and solar plants benefit from high power prices without being impacted by high gas prices. So for those non-gas power producers, there will be a price cap, and according to the Financial Times, this cap will be set at 200 euros per megawatt hour. The third proposal is the implementation of windfall taxes on oil and gas producers. The fourth measure is the easing of state aid rules to allow countries to support utilities facing liquidity issues because of rising collateral requirements from clearing houses. And last but not least, the European Commission contemplates a cap on Russian gas because Russia is accused of manipulating gas prices in Europe.
Okay, so talking about price cap, Spain has been the first one that applied a power price cap. Are any differences between the Spanish case and what could be done in Europe?
Yes, so indeed, Spain implemented a power price cap on CO2-free power plants. The cap is at 67 euros per megawatt hour. So the CO2-free power plants, that excludes gas plants, but also coal-fired power plants, whereas the price cap, the power price cap contemplated by the European Commission will be on non-gas power producers. So it will also be applied to coal-fired power plants. And this might be the reason why it will be higher than the 67 euros per megawatt hour Spanish price cap, because coal-fired power plants, they are not hit by rising gas prices, but they have to cover coal and CO2 costs.
Okay, so now talking about utility sector, what could be the best scenario and the worst scenario for European utilities?
Best scenario will be no power price cap at all, or power price cap very high, like the 200 euros per megawatt hour mulled by the European Commission. And a worst case scenario will be a power price cap very low, like below 60 euros per megawatt hour, and a big liquidity crisis with utilities becoming insolvent because they cannot face rising collateral requirements from clearing houses.
Okay, last question. So based on your expectation, are European utilities cheap or expensive right now? And which are your best investment ideas?
So power producers, the one concerned by high power prices and potential windfall taxes or price cap, are undervalued. Our two best ideas are RWE and NG, which are the main beneficiaries under coverage of rising power prices. And for them, I calculate that current share price imply long-term power prices of around 45 euros per megawatt hour, which is too bearish.
Very good, Tancrede. Thank you so much for your time. For Morningstar, I'm Francesco Lavecchia.